Hurricane Dorian made landfall on the Bahamas with wind speeds of 185 miles per hour.
Elon Musk, the tech billionaire, who is known for his bold predictions, has recently made a shocking claim. He said that North America's worst disaster in 300 years is about to happen in 2025. This statement has left many people wondering what he knows and why he believes such a catastrophic event is about to happen. What is Elon Musk warning us about? And why does he think 2025 will be the year when the disaster will happen? Join us as we explore Elon Musk's chilling predictions and the possible reasons behind it. Past incidences of disaster in North America. At the Natural Disasters Management Forum held in the United States of America, Elon Musk was said to have made this bold statement. He said that North America could be experiencing its worst disaster in years. Disasters are said to be occurrences that cause massive disruption and harm, which tend to change people's lives and communities in a moment. He said his claims were based on past records of disasters that had happened, and that he's foreseeing 2025 as the year that could happen. This has raised questions from individuals and groups as to what he knows. In this video, we shall be considering why he thinks that could happen. Before we dive deep into the story, let's take a quick look at disasters that have happened in North America in the past. Brace up for more revelations that will send shivers down your spine. The Irma hurricane was reported to be the most intense hurricane to have struck the continental United States since Katrina in 2005, which happened to be the first major hurricane to make landfall in Florida since Wilma that same year.
Declared an emergency today in Florida, Puerto Rico, and the U.S. Virgin Islands.
The Hurricane Irma was considered to be an extremely powerful and devastating tropical cyclone, which happened to be the first Category 5 hurricane to have struck the Leeward Islands on record, followed by Maria 2 weeks later.
Hurricane Maria slamming into the island, and as you heard, one official saying the island is destroyed.
It was also considered the most powerful hurricane on record in the open Atlantic region, outside of the Caribbean Sea and Gulf of Mexico, until it was surpassed by Hurricane Dorian 2 years later. It was also reported as the third strongest Atlantic hurricane at landfall ever recorded, just behind the 1935 Labor Day hurricane in Dorian. Irma was said to have caused widespread and catastrophic damage throughout its lifetime, particularly in the northeastern Caribbean and the Florida Keys. Irma was the 9th named storm, 4th hurricane, 2nd major hurricane, and the first Category 5 hurricane of the extremely active 2017 Atlantic hurricane season. In October 2017, Northern California was said to have experienced what was known as the Northern California firestorm, North Bay fires, and the Wine Country fires. These were said to be a series of 250 wildfires that burned across the state of California, United States, at the beginning of October. 21 became major fires that burned at least 245,000 acres. The wildfires were said to have broken out throughout Napa, Lake, Sonoma, Mendocino, Butte, and Solano counties during the severe fire weather conditions. This was said to have led to a major red flag warning for much of the Northern California area. The Pacific Gas and Electric reported that red flag conditions existed in 44 of the 49 counties in its service area. 17 separate wildfires were also said to have been reported at that time. These fires were said to have included the Tubes Fire, which grew to become the most destructive wildfire in the history of California up until that time. Fires in 2018 were said to be more destructive: the Atlas Fire, Nuns Fire, and others. In 2021, an extreme heat wave was also said to have affected much of Western North America from late June through mid-July 2021. The heat was said to have affected Northern California, Idaho, Western Nevada, Oregon, and Washington in the United States, as well as British Columbia, and in its latter phase, Alberta, Manitoba, the Northwest Territories, Saskatchewan, and Yukon, all in Canada. It was also said to have affected inland regions of central and southern California, Nevada, and Montana, though the temperature challenges were said to not be as extreme as in the regions farther north. It was also said that periods of heavy rainfall caused by multiple atmospheric rivers in Northern California between December 31st, 2022 and March 25th, 2023 resulted in floods that led to property damage and at least 22 affected. It was reported that at least 200,000 homes and businesses lost power during the December to January storms. 6,000 individuals were also said to have been ordered to evacuate their homes. The floods, which were widely reported by the media as an example of climate change, were said to have increased extreme changes in weather. Countless numbers of disasters were also said to have happened in the 18th and 19th century that time wouldn't permit us to talk about. The next revelation will definitely keep you at the edge of your seat. Elon Musk gave reasons for his claim. Elon Musk was said to have given reasons to back up his claim after he recounted past events of disasters that occurred in North America. He was also reported to have given a breakdown of the effects of the past disasters, which he said showed greater signs that 2025 could be the year that the North Americas would experience their worst ever disaster yet. He said this by putting forth some evidence and figures. He said the U.S. alone had experienced 19 major flood events in 2016, which happens to be the highest number ever. It was reported that disasters caused about $55 billion in damage in North America in 2016. The North Americas was said to have been hit by 160 natural disasters in 2016, more than any other year since record began in 1980, according to an analysis by the global A-Flood Louisiana home in August 2016. The disasters were said to have included floods, wildfires, droughts, heat waves, and coastal storms. Reports have it that only 44% of those losses were insured. He further said that 2 of the world's 5 most expensive natural disasters last year happened in North America, which are Hurricane Matthew in late September and major flooding in Louisiana in August. The October 2017 California wildfires were also said to be the most destructive ones. It was said to have caused around $14.5 billion in damages. These included $11 billion in insured losses and $1.5 billion in fire suppression costs, which surpasses the 1991 Oakland firestorm, which until then had been the single costliest fire on record. In addition, the Northern California fires were reported to have cost the U.S. economy at least $8.5 billion. That's not all. In 2018, the Camp Fire was said to have surpassed the October 2017 fires to become the single costliest fire on record, which caused an estimated $16.5 billion in property damage. It was reported that the damage was due to extreme conditions, and shortly after the fires ignited on October 8th and 9th, they rapidly grew to become extensive, full-scale incidents, which spanned from 1,000 acres to well over 20,000 acres, with each said to be within a single day. It was said that by October 14, the fires had burned more than 210,000 acres. It was said to have forced 90,000 people to evacuate from their homes. It was said that the Northern California fires killed 44 people and hospitalized at least 192 others in total, which made it one of the deadliest wildfire events to have happened in the United States during the past century. For the period concerned, which is from 1980 to 2024, the overall loss burden from weather disasters was said to be over $1,060 billion US. The insured losses were said to have amounted to $150 billion US, and over 30,000 people were said to have lost their lives due to weather disasters in North America during this time frame. With $62.2 billion US insured losses and overall losses of $125 billion US. Hurricane Katrina in 2005 was said to be the costliest disaster ever recorded in the U.S. Katrina was also said to be the deadliest single storm event. It was said to have claimed 1,322 lives. Storms were also said to have dominated the weather loss statistics. It was said to have accounted for about 76% of overall losses, and due to high insurance penetration, 89% of insured losses. The year 2005 was said to be the major hurricane year, when Katrina, Rita, and Wilma occurred, while 2011 was the record year for thunderstorm-related losses, when the U.S. was said to have suffered $26 billion US in insured property losses from that kind of events alone. Thunderstorms were also said to have caused severe weather hazards for the insurance industry in the U.S. Thunderstorm-related losses were also said to have increased over the past 40 years. Between 1980 and 2011, 43% of insured property windstorm losses were also said to have caused severe thunderstorms. Several hundred loss events were also said to have resulted from floods, which added up to $1 billion figure every year. Without flood management and control, the losses were said to have amounted to more than $100 billion US. Was this one of Elon Musk's usual predictions, or was he simply saying the inevitable? You're about to find out. Elon Musk's North America's disaster prediction factors. Elon Musk was reported to have gone ahead to give factors that point to the fact that North America could experience their worst disaster in 2025. He was said to have revealed a study by Munich Re, which showed that North America have been mostly affected by extreme disaster events in decades. The publication analyses showed all kinds of weather perils and their trends, which he said should be noted as there might be a repeat and even worse scenarios that had never been seen in North America's. The study revealed that the North American continent is exposed to every type of hazardous weather, which includes tropical cyclones, thunderstorms, winter storms, tornadoes, wildfires, droughts, and floods. He said one reason for this is that there is no mountain range running east to west that separates hot from cold air. He added that nowhere in the world has rising numbers of natural catastrophes been more evident than in the North Americas. Further studies showed that nearly 5 times the number of weather-related loss events in North America for the past 3 decades can be compared with an increase factor of 4 in Asia, 2.5 in Africa, 2 in Europe, and 1.5 in South America. It was reported that anthropogenic climate change is believed to contribute to this trend, though it influences various perils in different ways. It was also said that climate change particularly would affect the formation of heat waves, droughts, intense precipitation events, and in the long run, most probably tropical cyclone intensity. It was further revealed that extreme weather are becoming more frequent and intense in various regions in North America due to global warming, and it's keeping with current scientific findings, as set out in the 4th assessment report of the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change, as well as in the special report on weather extremes and disasters. It was also revealed that the losses caused by weather-related disasters have been primarily driven by socioeconomic factors, such as population growth, urban extension, and increasing wealth. Other factors reported were the new evidence for the emerging impact of climate change. Thunderstorm-related losses were said to have revealed the increasing volatility and significant long-term upward trend over the last 40 years. These figures were said to have been adjusted to account for factors such as increasing values, population growth, and inflation. A detailed analysis of time series showed that the observed changes closely matched the pattern of change in meteorological conditions necessary for the formation of large thunderstorm cells. Peter Roeder, a board member with responsibility for the U.S. market, was said to have shared in what Elon Musk predicted. He said it is crucial for them as risk managers to learn about the risk of change and find improved solutions for adaptation and mitigation. He emphasized the need for them to prepare for the weather risk changes that lie ahead, and that it's nowhere more than in North America. Another factor that was reported is the tropical cyclones. It was revealed that it has the capacity to affect the entire North American East and Gulf coasts, most especially if they develop into hurricanes. He was said to have further revealed another factor, which is the concentration of people and assets on the coast, which is said to be combined with high and possibly growing vulnerabilities. It was also reported that storm surge risk could also bring about immense loss potential, and it can be responsible for disasters in high numbers. This prediction is said to have come on the heels of 20 weather and climate disasters that hit the U.S. in 2021, which was said to have caused at least $1 billion in damage. These events were said to have included 1 drought, 2 floods, 11 severe storms, 4 tropical cyclones, 1 wildfire, and 1 winter storm. Do you think you have seen it all? The next revelation will blow your mind. Elon Musk's additional claims. It was also said that part of his claims were based on the forecast made available by the National Weather Service at the Climate Prediction Center. NOAA, a body which represents America's National Weather Service, was said to have predicted above-normal hurricane activity in the Atlantic Basin in 2024. It was said that the hurricane season, which spanned from June 1 to November 30, has a greater chance of rippling into 2025. An 85% chance was predicted of an above-normal season, a 10% chance of a near-normal season, and a 5% chance of a below-normal season. NOAA was said to have forecasted a range of 17 to 25 total named storms. It was also said that 8 to 13 were forecasted to become hurricanes, which included 4 to 7 major hurricanes, with wind of 111 miles per hour or higher. It was then reported that there is a 70% chance that the disaster could ripple into 2025. It was further reported that the Atlantic season is expected to have above normal activity. This was said to be due to some range of factors, which included near-record warm oceans, temperatures in the Atlantic trade winds, and less wind shear, all of which was said to favor tropical storm formation. It was also said that the hurricane season also features the potential for an above-normal West African monsoon, which has the potential to produce African easterly waves that produce some of the strongest and longer-lived Atlantic storms. Light trade winds were also said to allow hurricanes to grow in strength without any hindrance of strong wind shear, which also minimizes ocean cooling. Human-caused climate change was said to be another factor, which could increase the risk of storm surge in North Americas. Sea level rise is also said to represent a clear human influence on the damage potential from a given hurricane. He asserted that weather-related natural disasters are prominent in North America due to lost statistics for the first half of the year 2024. He further said that flooding in the North American region is extremely high compared to Dubai, where it is extremely rare. He said climate change plays a part in this trend. Reactions to Elon Musk's predictions. Individuals, sectors, and organizations were said to have reacted to Elon Musk's claim with different measures aimed at countering the effect of the disaster predicted. In a recent development, NOAA was said to have reacted to the claim by saying it was committed to keeping every American informed with life-saving information. Rick Spinrad, NOAA administrator, said AI-enabled language translations and new depictions of inland wind threats in the forecast cone are just two examples of the proactive steps the agency is taking to meet its mission of saving lives and protecting property. FEMA Deputy Administrator Eric A. Hooks said severe weather and emergencies can happen at any moment, which is why individuals and communities need to be prepared today. He said they were already seeing storms move across the country that could bring additional hazards like tornadoes, flooding, and hail. He said taking proactive measures, challenging the climate landscape, can make a difference in how people can recover tomorrow. NOAA's National Data Buoy Center was also said to have recently upgraded many coastal weather buoys in the tropical Western Atlantic and Caribbean, which included time of occurrence, measurements of 1-minute wind speed and direction, 5-second peak wind gust direction, and lowest 1-minute barometric pressure to support tropical cyclone forecasting. It was also reported that in 2025, NOAA will gather additional observations using directional wave spectra drifters, which will be deployed from the NOAA P-3 Hurricane Hunter aircraft in the vicinity of sail drones. Uncrewed surface vehicles, which will also be deployed at the start of the hurricane season, are meant to provide 1-minute data in real time. 11 to 12 sail drones are said to have been planned for deployment in 2025. It was also reported that NOAA will upgrade its observing systems, which is critical in understanding and forecasting hurricanes. It was said that these projects will provide more observations of the ocean and atmosphere in the Caribbean, the Gulf of Mexico, and the U.S. East Coast and in the tropical Atlantic. Dozens of observational underwater gliders were said to have been planned in waters off the Caribbean, Gulf of Mexico, and the eastern U.S. coast in response to the disaster forecast. It was also reported that the new lightweight drop sonde called StreamSonde will be deployed into developing tropical storms, which will collect multiple real-time observations to collect valuable wind data. The CHAOS, which is referred to as the Coordinated Hurricane Atmosphere Ocean Sampling Research, is also said to be an experiment aimed at improving the understanding of air-sea interactions, providing sustained monitoring of key ocean features. The head of Munich RES Geo-Risks Research Unit, Professor Peter Hoppe, said there's a need for all stakeholders to collaborate and close ranks to support improved adaptation. He added that climate change reduction measures should be supported to limit global warming in the long term to a manageable level, as North America is particularly exposed to all kinds of weather risks. Tony Kaczynski, CEO of Munich Reinsurance America, pointed out the reasons they must set aside biases and continue meaningful dialogue in search of answers to mitigate the losses they have experienced. Mandeville was said to have spoken to the people from the Canadian region, where they've experienced tornadoes in the past. He said people should be more mindful of tornado risk, as more Canadian property or business owners are likely to encounter them in the coming decades. He stressed that as Canada continues to attract more and more residents and their population grows, they'll begin to see much more catastrophic events. He advised that whenever a tornado strikes, the people should heed emergency alerts and take cover in a basement or windowless interior room, and only come out when it's clear that the storm has passed. Greg Case, who happened to be another popular climate expert and CEO of Aon, said collaboration is very essential to developing effective solutions. He said climate risk is a very complex problem and that no single industry or discipline can solve it alone. He stressed the fact that there is a need for businesses, government, and scientific communities to bring all of their capabilities together to address climate risk. Greg said he recently became the first member with risk capital capabilities to join the International Emissions Trading Association, which is dedicated to building an international framework for trading in greenhouse gas emission reductions. He said another area of collaboration where he felt the biggest impact would be made is working with clients across the reinsurance and commercial risk space to help them quantify and mitigate their unique risks and transition to a low-carbon future. What do you think of Elon Musk's claim of North America's experiencing their worst disaster in 300 years in 2025? Share your thoughts with us in the comments section. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more. Also, click on the following video showing on your screen. You will enjoy it.